Hey, my name is Teresa Jones, and I'm going to show you today how you can make some sensory Play-Doh using ingredients that you would have in your kitchen already, along with Young Living's essential oils. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to use just a regular saucepan, and we're going to add our dry ingredients first. So we have 1 cup of flour, and then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of table salt, and then 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. Okay, so we've got that all together. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up just a little bit with a whisking tool that I use, and then we're going to add our wet ingredients next. Now, if you're going to use some type of food coloring, you want to go ahead and add that to your water first so it's evenly dispersed. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. We already have a lot of Play-Doh colors at our house. So I'm just gonna mix this together a little bit. Now, if you want to use a natural powdered food dye, I know a lot of people are trying to avoid the food dyes for consumption, and we do generally as well. We actually only use this for our Play-Doh. But since your skin is your largest organ, you do want to be conscientious of what you put on it and use with it. So if that's a concern for you, if you have children that are sensitive, you use the powdered dye, just add a couple more drops of water so that the consistency stays the same. I just added our tablespoon of olive oil, and before I add this to the heat, I'm going to go ahead and turn the medium heat on so it's heating up. I'm just going to whisk this together a little bit because I don't want flour stuck in any of the corners, anything like that, so that it doesn't turn out the way that I want. Originally, I was a little nervous about this recipe because it said that you had to stir consistently until it reached the consistency that you wanted, until it became like a hard blob. So I was nervous, but it's actually not hard at all. Okay, so we've got this mixed together and over medium heat. The yellow is a little bit of an interesting color, but that's okay. We're gonna go with this. So we're gonna try to stir continuously so that our Play-Doh doesn't get burned or too sticky in any one part. And this is actually something that I've had my kids help me with. They've helped add the ingredients. My older child has helped me with a little bit of the stirring. So it's been a great activity for them, and they've really enjoyed having fun getting to kind of customize their own Play-Doh. I will say a couple things. First of all, I only use Young Living essential oils in my Play-Doh because some oils are either have chemical additives or fillers that have been included in them, or they've been distilled using chemical solvents. And so when that happens, a lot of times people will have an adverse reaction, whether that is a little skin rash. Some of those oils, often what you'll find at your grocery store or the health food store, those are not to be used on your skin, and they'll say that on the bottle. So you want to be aware of that. Young Living has what's called their seed to seal guarantee, and that means that they are in control of every single process from the seed that grows into the ground. They own 10,000 acres of farmland, and so they make their own oils. They are agriculturally involved and in control of that process. And then to this seal on the bottle that they are involved in every step. So for me, that was really important in choosing an oil, but you want to keep that in mind as you are choosing ingredients for your Play-Doh, because these are what your little kids' hands are gonna be all over. So secondly, you may be thinking, why on earth does it matter if I add an essential oil to my Play-Doh? You could make this Play-Doh at home just because it's cheap and the texture is really great. Our kids have actually thrown out all of their other Play-Doh. But Young Living's essential oils are small enough in particle size that they can cross the blood-brain barrier. And that's significant because they can affect the limbic system. The limbic system is your seat of emotions. And so that means that when you smell lavender, you're probably going to be relaxed and calmed. Not because lavender is magic, but because it's affecting the chemistry of your brain. Same thing with stress away. Citrus scents are generally very uplifting, so sometimes those are ones that you'll use or want to diffuse. Other scents like lemon and peppermint are really great for focus. So while you may not want them in your Play-Doh because peppermint has a tingle factor to it, those would be great things to diffuse, to have out in your room. We use those daily for our kids in their school life. Or if we're doing homework, or if I have something I really need to focus on. So it definitely makes a big impact, and that's kind of what takes this Play-Doh to the next level, is that it's not just the texture, it's not just the pushing and pressing of the Play-Doh. That's soothing for a lot of kids in general, and really good for their motor skills. So this takes it up a notch. You can kind of see it's kind of this thicker glob, not quite ready yet. I would say this is like really thick mashed potatoes, but we're almost there. It's getting kind of hard to stir, and it's kind of getting to be a glob. The way that I know that it's done is that I can't smear any on the edge of the pan and it'll stick. That as I take the Play-Doh around, it all kind of sticks to this big swirly glob in the middle to my spoon, and that's exactly what I have right here. Is this big swirly glob. You can see I can just plop it on my counter there. And what I'm gonna do is let this rest for just a minute. Again, our color of yellow is a little interesting, but we're gonna add our essential oils now. So I make like a little bowl space here in the Play-Doh, and we're gonna choose today lavender and stress away. So if you are a new oil user, if you've gotten started with Young Living Starter Kit, these are oils you will have. I think that it is so important to use what you have on hand, although there are probably about, at least 20 good options for oils that you could use for Play-Doh. So I added about 10 drops of the lavender, and I'm gonna add 10 drops of Stress Away. This is an oil that I use on an everyday basis myself, but it's really calming for my kids. So I added about 10 drops of each, and now I'm just gonna massage this into the oil. My kids, as long as the Play-Doh is cooled off, and it really is right now, this is comfortable, my kids love this step. And I love it because it's very calming for them. So I just kind of massage this into the Play-Doh and make sure that I have all the oil kind of off my hands. You'll still smell it on your hands when you're done. And then I divide this into 2 sections because it makes a hefty amount of Play-Doh. And I just let it set out to kind of cool off for a little bit. And then you're going to want to store it in an airtight container. Thanks for tuning in and learning how to make Play-Doh with me again. Have a great day.